Hi, ladies and gents. This is Maxine English coming from Unlocking the Fearless You. And as you can see, we're back back again today. Can't even speak already. And we've got Celebrity Corner. And with Celebrity Corner, we have got a major celebrity in the house today. We've got the Mister. You ready? He's coming. Peter Francis.
Good evening, everybody.
Yay! How you doing?
I'm in the building.
He's in the building. Whoop, whoop. We like him in the building.
Woo,
yeah. Susan, it's lovely to see you here, my lovely. You started a watch party. That's exactly what I like to hear. Get them people coming in, having a watch party, ask those questions. That's exactly what it's all about. It's all about getting you involved. Exactly. Getting you involved, coming in, asking questions. I'll be going through questions as well. And if there's anything that you want to know, ask him. I mean, he's a comedian. Yeah, there's loads of things for us. Now, we've also got Debbie Chester in the house. Hi, Debbie. Nice for you to join us. We've also got Susan Brown. She's in the house. And you've also got Inspired to Achieve Global TV. Make sure you tell me who you are. So we've got Susan has turned around and said she started herself a watch party. So that means we're going to get extra people. Susan is coming all the way from Oregon, USA.
Where is Oregon? I've never heard of it.
USA, over on the West Coast, as far as you can go.
Way down.
Way over. And you've also got Deborah Chester. Now, Deborah's in the UK and she also comes from New Zealand. So really? she's in the house.
Robert, she's in. Hi, Robert. Who's Robert? I'm not Robert. Oh, she's talking to someone else.
She's talking to some of the people that are here.
What's that?
So, okay. So we've got, thank you for joining. Please share, invite and start a watch party. Absolutely. And we've also got Yeldon. He's in the house. Well, we've got a few people in the house today, so that's exactly what we like to see. We like to make sure that we get you out there, we promote you as much as we possibly can. At the same time, you're giving content. And do you know what, being a comedian, get them jokes ready, because I'm going to be asking.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, let's get on to your first lot of questions.
Yeah.
Right, we've got Robert as well. He's in the house. Ginger's in. Hi, how are you doing?
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we've got lots of people. If you click onto your left-hand side, you can actually see the comments as they're coming down, so you can see those too.
Yeah,
comments, click on that and you'll be able to see them. Okay, so the first thing we're going to go through is This Is Your Life. Let's tell people exactly who you are and what you do. So your name's Peter Francis, and what I've got down here, you can tell me if there's anything extra to go down. So you started your life out as an accountant, completely different to what you are today. Excellent.
It's from school. I was good at maths, and I decided to take up accountancy, but it's quite difficult being an accountant, and it's also quite boring. I didn't really fit in. Because my friends, they go for lunch and dinners at certain times, and they'll go to the pub. I'm not really a pub person, and that will be their day out. As they're in the pub having their night out, as they say, I would go with them. They'll get drunk about 9 o'clock, have their kebabs, go home. And when I got back home, my mates are just getting ready to go out. Do you see what I mean? So it's a cross difference in time. But as an accountant, Jesus, I was a black accountant from South London. I'm asking you, would you trust me with your money? That's what it's kind of iffy. But, at the same time, it was something that I did because I loved it at the time, but it wasn't for me. That's what it was. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, it wasn't your cup of tea. But do you know what though? You figured it out.
I figured it out in the long run. After 8 years, I figured it out. Accountancy. Yeah. I love it. I still do accountancy for my own company.
So you didn't even get my joke, did you? So that was just wasted.
Go on, say it again, and I'll tune into you. What did you say?
Accountant. You didn't figure it out. I mean, come on.
No, I got it, but
it was just pants, basically.
What you just did is one of those things like, if I tell people I'm a comedian, right, and they come up to me and say, let me tell you a joke, and you got to sit and listen to their joke, and then they tell you the joke, and you got to make that expression like, is it funny?
All right, okay, it was pants, don't rub it in, let me carry on.
Was it funny? No. Let's move on.
Okay, so let's go through a bit more about This Is Your Life. So we've got, you wrote material for other comedians, you appeared on Channel 4's So You Think You're Funny, you're a finalist in the Wilson Sword Cutting Edge of Comedy and was attended by the BECA Awards for Best Newcomer. You appeared in a film called Lovers Rock Story and Dog City. In 2004 you was awarded the BECA Award for Most Original Material. You've done corporate clients, including Aston Villa and Stoke City, amongst others. You toured in Germany, Holland, Sweden, China, and the USA. You're a regular act in the USA for the Army and the RAF. You frequently to Hollywood, Washington, and New York. You're performing in more established venues, based like the Laugh Factory, the Improve, the Comedy Store, and amongst others, including the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. You started a one-man show. You ain't heard nothing yet. Can't even see me on thing. I'm not glasses on.
One day was it? That was good. That was in London.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. So you also sold out 300-seat theatres, which you've done a few of those. Yep. Created a unique comedy talk show called Special B Comedy World.
That's right.
You covered subjects from relationships, politics, social behaviours, both at home and abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to add to that?
You got a lot of information on me. You got someone spying in my house or something?
Just stalked you for a little while, that's all.
Here you go, all my groupies, the secret groupie. I didn't know nothing about you, but hey, yeah, that's quite accurate. Yeah, I've done a lot in my career, and most of it is done abroad, outside London, and I've been just up and down the country, and now I'm based back in England, and I'm doing a lot of comedy in England. So a lot of people, you can catch me because I'm going to put it all over the internet and things like that. But yeah, comedy has been my life since how many years have I been doing this now? At least 14, 15 years. A long time. Wow. A long time.
So we're gonna cover quite a lot of your comedy side, because there is quite a lot to know and quite a lot to understand, and perhaps you can help other people with it as well if they actually want to get into comedy. So what we're going to do is we're going to step back a little bit more. I know obviously you've been doing comedy longer than probably you've been doing this. However, we're going to cover this first. So you started with your accountancy. So you was good with maths, you was good with everything else, and you know why in all the things that you could have done, you know, obviously you're a funny guy, but you went into accountancy. Probably nobody hit me here, the most boringest job in the world.
Okay.
Compared to commodity.
This is what it is. Look, like I said, from school, I was really good at maths. Maths was a subject that I had to do in school. And because I went to a rough school, and a lot of the guys, we didn't do any other subject apart from maths, because in maths you learn how to do quarters, ounces, eighths, you know what I'm talking about. So we took that subject college, just that I was good at it, and I developed skills in maths, and I thought I'm quite numerative, and it allowed me to think, because maths is one of the subjects that allows you to think. All the other subjects you need to regurgitate and then come back and take. But maths, you have to think, because you have to solve solutions and problems. I took up accountancy, and I worked in a company down in Paddington as a bookkeeper. And I did enjoy the accountancy for a little while. I enjoyed the numbers, I enjoyed the game. But yes, you're right, it was boring. All right. And I was like an abstract accountant because I had a sense of humor. But you know what? It felt like I didn't have a sense of humor when I was dealing with the other accountants, if that makes any sense. Because you know that joke you just told me earlier, and it was boring. You know the joke you told me just earlier about figures, right? All
right. Rub it in.
When I did jokes, it was the same response that I gave you is what I was getting back from the accountant. So I thought, you know what? I don't fit in in this particular environment. I love accountants.
Thanks for everybody for listening. We're now going.
I love doing accounts, and I say I love doing accounts. It intrigues me, but it just wasn't for me at the time. It just wasn't for me. I had too much of a sense of humor. Not saying accountants are boring, because I am one, but it's just that I had a sense of humor with it, and you don't really get an accountant with a sense of humor.
On a positive note, you don't have to get your own accountant. You can do your own books. That's all good.
That's what I'm saying.
Makes it cheaper. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I used to walk into buildings. No one ever knew I was an accountant. I used to walk in with my assistant, and they used to address me as a hi, and then they used to look at the other guy and say, "Hi, Mr. Francis." No, I'm Mr. Francis. They must have thought I was a cleaner or something. Because I'm saying I didn't fit in different ways, but that was then. That was back.
But you scrubbed up well then.
I scrubbed up well. Oh yeah,
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So let's talk about your fitness, because you run your own fitness company. How did you get into that?
Fitness, I got into fitness through how most people get into it, through illness. I used to have diabetes. I used to have diabetes, and I didn't know I had diabetes at the time. And how I found out I got diabetes was, do you know the symptoms of diabetes?
I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with my daughter, but other than that, in general, I don't have diabetes. But no, tell the audience, because at the end of the day, it's, you know,
well, the
people
symptoms I got is I was peeing a lot, right? And my private parts was itching me, and I was quite thirsty, and I thought I had a sexual disease. So I phoned up the missus and said, "Baby, have you got anything wrong with you?" And she said, "No." I said, "Okay, well, ask your mum." Now, what happened was after that is I contracted the illness, and I just started to investigate how you got it in the end. I started to investigate how do I get rid of this illness, because I didn't want it. I didn't want the illness beside me. And part of diabetes is keep yourself fit, eat the right foods, right? And maintain your health and your wealth. Basically, that's what it is. And that's what I did. And I contracted diabetes, and I went back to the doctors 2 years after that, and he said, I have no longer diabetes. My diabetes went into remission. All right.
Wow.
And so from then I decided, well, if I can do it, other people can do it too. All right. And that's when I decided to start up my fitness company. I then qualified to be a personal trainer, which I am. And I help people get over illnesses. I studied naturopath. They get over illnesses, and I get them fit and I get them healthy. That's what I do now.
Fantastic. So for when you had your diabetes, and you did all the kind of fitness that you did, I mean, was there any particular regime you did, or was there any particular food that you ate more of and ate less of something else? I mean, was there like a superfood or something?
Superfood. Listen, I don't eat meat, all right? Which is one of the main things that blocks your arteries, and I don't eat meat. When I say I don't eat meat, I'm black, I eat chicken. But what I'm trying to say to you is I don't eat red meat.
Okay.
Right? I don't eat red meat. I eat a little bit of chicken, and I eat quite a lot of fish, all right? And my diet, I don't eat starchy foods. You need to stay away from starchy foods, that's a fact. And I eat lots of veg and salads, and you'll be fine. Trust me. Coupled with exercise, you'll be fine. And
what kind of exercise would you give? Say, for instance, someone's on the verge of diabetes and they actually want to, sort themselves out before they actually get there. What like top 3 exercises would you give them?
Well, it depends on the actual individual. Like if they're overweight, then it's cardio.
Okay.
All right. In fact, it's cardio for most of the things, because cardio rejuvenates your blood circulation, and therefore doing cardio rejuvenates your blood, flushes out your system as well, with eating the right foods, and that's the main thing that you need to do, cardio. But also with diabetes, you could lose a lot of weight overnight, just like that. All right. So I would incorporate some resistance exercises as well. All right, for diabetes.
So I'll be working for you for 7 days, and I'll let everybody know in a week's time.
Yeah. Come on, bring it on, man. I'm there.
Right, okay, so let's go to a couple of people what we've got on here. So as we put on there earlier, Susan Day's watches started a watch party. Deborah says hello, and she's also saying hi to Robert. So everyone's getting to know each other and making sure they're all saying hi to each other. Thanks for joining. Please share, invite, and start a watch party, because it gets it around even further. So you've also got here Ginger is hi guys. Robert Brooker is coming in from Canada, in Toronto.
Why do they call you Ginger? Your hair's not Ginger.
Right, Ginger. I don't know. Ginger. Why do they call you Ginger? Perhaps that's her name. You've got Yeldon. Well done, Maxine English. Really enjoying your lives. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely like that. Hi to Peter. See, she got your name right. She's in the house. We've also got Adam. He's coming from up north. Audrey, tell us where you're coming from. I mean, I don't think I've seen you on here before, so it's absolutely fantastic that you're here.
How are you doing, Audrey? Hello, Audrey.
Hello, exactly. Robert's put, I remember accounting. I did the 2 required years at my summer school. It was a place I found it inspired my sense of humour. Robert is also a bit of a comedian. He's actually very funny. He broadcasts for us a couple of times a week as himself, and then he does every Saturday night as the Alley Cat. And because he's very much the way he talks, we think he should be a voiceover artist. So basically by doing that, he does the Alley Cat, and it's actually really funny. He puts himself out there for everybody else. So Susan said, is it hard to write your own jokes, and what is your process?
Whoa, write my own jokes, because my jokes are based on my life experience, right? And I've had a lot of experience in my life, which is really funny. My jokes started from school, because you had to be I got picked on in school, right? Because I went to a rough school, and you would say I was bullied, but like it was the fittest of the fittest that had to survive in my school, all right? Because we had I had older sisters, and we was poor family, and so I had hand-me-down clothes. And when we did PE in our underpants, whereas some people would do it in shorts. In our school, we had to do it in our underpants. And sometimes I forget I was wearing my sister's knickers at the time. So yeah, so the boys would get the big out of me, and they would call me all different kind of names. He used to call me Sissy and Puff and all that kind of. You know, back then being called a Puff was one of the worstest names you could ever be called. And they used to call me this, and I used to cry, and I used to want to fight all of them at the same time. I never want to fight because they all beat me up. All right, and then I used to go home and cry, and I used to say to, you know, I used to hate, you know, your parents, because they're the ones who made you dressed up in hand-me-down clothes. I would go back home and I would cry, and I could say the words. You know, when you cry, you can't speak. And my father used to say to me, "What's the matter with you?" And I used to say, "Well, my mum made me wear, you know, you can't speak." And when you go, "Mum made me wear the knickers," and my dad said, "Look, all this," and my dad dropped his pants. And I was like, "Oh, Dad, I'm not really a Puff." And he was wearing women's underpants. You know, the women's, what do they call them things? The women's stockings.
Suspenders.
Yeah. And I was thinking, why is he wearing women's stockings? And he told me that my mum made him wear them because they kept his parts warm. That's not really what he meant to say, because he was laughing. He was trying to, you know, get over the point I was wearing hand-me-down clothes. And he then said to me, "Look, when people take the mickey out of you, don't use anger. Fight them back with your gift. And your gift," he said, "son, because you're the funniest child I've got," he said, "your gift is comedy. And so therefore I use comedy as my tool. And, you know, and ever since then, when you argue with me or anything, I would use comedy to get you back. Because my sisters used to argue with me a hell of a lot. But they were highly intelligent, my sisters, because where we was messing around, cursing each other, they used to go into their books and study. And they used to learn all these big words. And then they used to come back when we used to argue, and they used to call me names like mistake. And I was like, I don't even know what mistake means. I was 8 years old. I'm like, how could you call me miss and steak? What does that mean? Miss is my teacher and steak is food. And I'm thinking my sisters are stupid. And I used to have to go to the dictionary and look up the words. So my arguments would take about 2-3 days for me to get back to my sisters, because I've been looking up the words. And then I go back to them and I say, I ain't no mistake. You guys are the mistake. And then they hit me with another word. And then the arguments would just go on and on and on for weeks. And then that's how I learned how to use a dictionary for my sisters. All right. So my jokes then naturally became my life. In other words, things that happened into my life is what I portray on stage. And it's just it's funny, it's sequence of events. Funny sequence of events.
Absolutely. Right, so Ginger's put, I've been called a lot of things, laugh out loud, but Ginger is the one that's stuck.
But she hasn't got ginger hair.
No, but they just call her Ginger. Perhaps she's Ginger Spice.
Yeah, maybe. I've been called a lot of things, LOL, but Ginger is one that stuck. Why do they call you Ginger though? Because well, we can't see you.
Enough of that. Okay, so Robert Brooker's put, mine too. That's why I have so many funny dating stories.
Exactly, it's your life experience. You can't beat them.
Yeah, exactly. You've also got Robert's put, they were probably envious of you. See, they all wanted knickers and they didn't have any.
They wanted my knickers.
They wanted your knickers. No way I can't cut meat out reducing amounts possible. I'd rather die. Okay, so he definitely
you can cut meat out. You can. Never say you can't. You can cut meat out, trust me.
Yeah, I mean I'm not a very big meat eater. It's very rare that I eat red meat, but it's mainly just chicken. And I've been to dietitians. They're like, no, that's absolutely fine. My biggest problem is exercise. It's, you know, one, I've got to have time, and two, I've got to have a sound back that I can actually do the exercise that I could do. So it's very much that I need to get myself out there more. That's what the problem is.
Yeah. Well, once you, your diet might be all right. Your diet's all right.
My diet's fine. It's just literally. I mean, but the thing is, it's like when I do broadcasting. Yeah. It's rather than time I get in, time I sort everything else out, time I get everything done on the computer. It's very much that I won't have my dinner until 10:30 in the evening. That's my problem.
Yes.
Yeah. Where so what I've been trying to do lately is I've been trying to do it at like 1:30 in the afternoon and having something small, because I don't have time to sort everything else out with the kids, then obviously get on to here. So it's very much I do everything around a different way. Yeah. Right, okay. So Ginger's put, I may not have red hair, but you were a black accountant, touche.
Check you out. Go, Ginger. Go, Ginger. I should catch you and rub you. I might get a present.
Oh, loving that. We like a bit of banter. So let's talk about your awards then.
Okay.
Because you've been like, you know, here, there, and everywhere. I mean, what's with all these awards going on? I mean, you've got Best Newcomer, you know, Most Original Material.
Yeah.
I mean, where did that all start?
It was an organisation that wanted to reward Black comedians for all their efforts and all their talent, and we didn't have really a platform to award us. And you know, a lot of comedians out there, but we still just can't get past that one person who seems to be blocking the way for all of us, Lenny Henry. And so what it is, we're trying our hardest, but you know, he's just stuck there like glue. They won't let no of us through. So the awards was to recognise talent, and I got recognised twice in 2002, I think, and 2004. One for the best.
One 2004, which is your Most Original Material.
Yeah,
and the other one I haven't got a date for. We've got Best Newcomer.
Yeah, I think it's 2002. I got nice awards, and I was much appreciated that, because you know what,
we're losing half your head.
Oh, is it okay? You got my head back?
Yeah, I have now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, it was much appreciated, because you know, like I said, there was not a platform out there to recognise Black talent, and that was what that was for. Yeah.
So would you not put you all in one and just have you as a comedian?
Say that again?
Would you not put you all self in all in one and just have you as comedians?
No, there was different categories, because there's female comedians that's been doing it for a long time, lifetime's achievements, like I say, original material. And this went on for about 4 or 5 years. So it was different comedians winning different awards at different stages in their career. So yeah, like I say, I won 2 of them, which is really good.
Fantastic.
Anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on top of that,
they don't mean anything to anyone else, but it means that to me. I mean, I'm sure you don't even know what BECA is, do you? But it meant something.
Black something.
Yeah, you see, now you're trying to guess.
Community Association. Comedian Association.
No, it's Black Entertainment Comedian and Comedy Awards. That's what it was.
Oh, I was close.
Yeah,
I've got 2 in there. 2 out of 4 ain't bad. 50% conversion. Right, okay. So you've also been on TV. So you've got a couple of those. You appeared on Channel 4's So You Think You're Funny.
Oh yeah, that was ages ago.
Yeah. So what did you do while you was on that?
Oh God, I can't remember. I was there with a comedian. You probably know Adam Bloom, and we was there just writing scripts and had to just talk about topics. It was a new format. It kicked off for about 5 episodes, I think, and that was it really. It was a new enterprise, but it didn't last so long. But it was new enterprise for comics, and it was just put it this way, it was an experience.
Did you enjoy it?
Because I can't remember it. That's why.
But yeah, it was great. It's absolutely amazing. Don't ask me any more questions about that, because I don't know.
That's fair. It was so long ago. It's probably when I first started. It actually was when I first started, and it was So You Think You're Funny. I remember it. I remember who I was on with. It was David Ward, he's a comedian out there, Adam Bloom, myself, and someone else, and it was an experience. So
someone else. So you've just mentioned 3 names out of 4. That someone else is going to be right down in the dumps. Then
no.
Remember who they are.
They probably won't remember. Trust me, they won't remember. Because look, I just can't remember.
Right. So you also appeared in the films Lovers Rock Story and Dog City.
Yeah, Lovers Rock. You know what Lovers Rock is?
No, I'm being honest. No.
That's ethnical Black music. That's when it's sentimental valued music with where a man and woman really start dancing close and intimate, and you make babies while standing up. You're
okay.
You hardly move. If you went into a Lovers Rock dance and you saw people dancing to the Lovers Rock, you would think they were standing there statues, but their hips. It's all in the hips.
You do realise that most people have stopped watching you now and going.
It's all in the hips, man. The top half is like static, and we're just close.
We're not past the watershed yet. Okay, enough of the story.
Just the lower part of your body just moving. It was a story about it was a Lovers Rock story, and I was making commentary on the actual film. All right, because Lovers Rock was a British form of music. It's a British form of sort of like reggae's music with sentimental value. So I'll tell you how you can reference it. Soul music, Marvin Gaye, all right? That kind of sentimental Music, Teddy Pendergrass, but in a reggae style.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you be with someone that you love, and you're making static love or loving clothing, whilst listening to music and everybody else is watching. Yeah. Lots of baby.
Brilliant. And what was Dog City?
Dog City was a film when I played a nutter. It was about a guy, if I remember rightly, it was about a young man who lost his, who was looking for his father, and he eventually found his father, but he had to go through some trials and tribulations and trying to find his father. And I played a madman who only ate Polish food.
Oh, okay.
Slavovich pies. I love Slavovich pies, but I would nick them from the grocery store. And then they would come try and chase me, and I'd run away type thing. So that's what I always did. And then they eventually recognized who I was, and they wouldn't serve me anymore. So that's the kind of part I played, it was good. Short film, very short film, but that's what I did.
Fantastic. I mean, you know, but things like that, though, it gives you all the experience, doesn't it? Of actually, I mean, how did you get into films like that?
Through school, through secondary school, as well as doing accountants. I was writing a lot of plays, and I was in a lot of plays at school. So that's where the acting type bit come from school. I
think Robert's found it.
Uh-huh.
I think Robert's found it.
No way. He's going to be confused. Right? What has he found? The Lovers Rock story or something else? What has he found?
What one is that, Robert? If you let us know, just so we've got that on there, because obviously it's on the comments. Yeah, people can comment on that one.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. So I mean, you done those, and you say you got into film from school.
From school, it was like it's something I did, acting, because being a performer, you're almost acting anyway. Because when I'm on stage, I don't just tell stand-up straight jokes. I act out my jokes. So I sort of like bring you into my world. And that comes through the doing a lot of plays and doing the acting. I'm bringing you into my world. So you really get to understand who I am when I'm on stage. You really do get to understand who I am, trust me.
Yeah. That's what we like to hear. We're going to understand a little bit more about you today as well. Don't worry about that. It's all coming. It's all coming. Right, okay. So you've also had corporate clients, including Aston Villa and Stoke City. So what happened with the football?
What do you mean in terms of doing?
Well, was you just being a comedian before they got on the pitch, so they didn't make a joke of themselves?
No. They have after parties and dinner guests and afterwards for the footballers and their wives, etc., etc. And two particular clubs, like you just said, Stoke, Aston Villa, have called me up to do a show for the footballers and their wives, and it's another show, but it's just for the footballers and their wives. That's what that is all about. So was it all good fun? It was all great? Oh, definitely good fun. Because I support Arsenal. End of story, really. And you. So
why have you not wrote to Arsenal and actually got Arsenal to say, look, why have you not got me there? I'm one of your biggest fans.
Because we had Wenger. They keep changing managers, isn't it? It's something that I could in the future. The only thing I did with Arsenal was and this is quite soppy really. When Patrick Vieira was around, we had a child who had a little illness, and one of the child's ambitions was to meet Patrick Vieira.
Right.
We set up a link where we took the child down to meet Patrick Vieira, and that was probably one of the nicest things that we done for the child, because he didn't actually live for too long after that. But that made his day. That really did make his day, and he made ours too. And it also made Patrick Vieira's day, because he was having some bad press in the news, so he used that as a sidelight to make himself look good. So it was good. Yeah. But in the future, Arsenal, you definitely see me doing some stuff.
So what have you been doing with the US Army and the RAF then?
The Army, you go over there. It's the American Army bases, all right? And they asked for me. I think I'm one of the very few UK comics to go over to do the USA Army bases. And this happens through some guy called Sean, who's in the army, and he's contacted me and he said, "Look, we like your style of comedy. We want you to come over and entertain the troops as an English guy, with talent." So I used to go over to Germany, China, up in the UK. There's Milden Hall. Yeah, it's Milden Hall. Yeah, and do the army bases and thoroughly enjoyed it. Americans are open to all types of different comedy. They're not as PC as the UK people. Trust me.
When we speak to Greg Walker, he says exactly the same thing. It's like, Americans are all in and they have a laugh and everything else. So, right. So Robert's Terry said, was that sort of caught a question directed at me? What was it again? So Robert, it was about the YouTube thing that you put on now. What was the YouTube thing? You didn't actually put what it actually was.
Yeah.
Right. You've got Carlos. It's Terry said morning. So Carlos, please let us know where you're coming in from.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. So obviously you've got to be over that side of like the Australian side, so for it to be morning. Unless it's early hours of the morning. I don't know. We'll find out. I just recharged my soul a little listening to that song. All right. Okay. Got you. So yeah, whatever that song was. Right. Okay. So going back to what we were talking about, that you've been over in America. You've took America by storm, basically, with all the comedy clubs and all the different clubs that you go into.
Yeah, I was told to go live. I was told that I should come and stay in America for a little while, but I couldn't do that because I had family commitments with children. But America is one of those places that took me for face value. The difference between America and the UK, all right, is that if you're talented over in America, they grab you, all right? Yeah. Over in the UK, you're talented, but you got to break down some serious barriers to try and, get through the doors. And this is the battle that I'm trying to do right now. So all of this media platform, everything, it helps me trying to break down these barriers. Because, like I said, there's other talent out there apart from Lenny Henry. And some people, you need to start looking. You really do. Because if I lived in America, I'd probably be big by now. Bigger than what I am now. So, yeah. So that's what, I loved America. I really did. And they
Hi, Carlos. Sorry. Thank you for letting us know where you are. That's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, New York City.
He's in New York City.
Check him out, son.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's just put you back on your tours. So you were saying that, in the UK, people are quite PC. It's very much so. I suppose in the UK, we moan about everything, don't we? We're very much, if it's too sunny, it's too hot. If it's too cold, we whinge about that. If it's raining, we whinge. Then we moan that it's not enough rain.
Everything.
The UK moan about everything and anything they can possibly moan about, and I'm allowed to say it because I belong to the UK. So so it's very much that I suppose a lot of other countries are open with everything that they do. I mean, but you've been to lots of different countries, haven't you?
Yep.
Do you find it easier with language barriers and everything else, or do most of them speak English, or
Most of them do. The thing with comedy is if it's funny, it's funny. All right.
Okay.
Comedy has no color attached to it. If it's funny, it's funny. Like you would think I would have problems in China. I didn't have no problems in China. They understood me. I stood out in China, right? But I didn't have no problems.
Was it because you was taller?
No, it's got nothing to do with me tall or black. Oh. You can see my eyes. Now, what happened was in China, it goes more than that. I'm not cussing. If there's any Chinese people, I'm not cussing. I love Chinese people. All right, I really do love Chinese people. What it was is the sun was shining in my eyes, right? And my conscience told me that if I close my eyes, they're gonna think I'm taking a mickey out of them. All right, and I had a tour guide. All right.
Yeah.
The tour guide says to me, why you do like that for? Why you do like that for? And it was quite funny because that was the first time I saw his eyes in 2 days, and they were blue. Now, what I said to him was, when you're in another country, right? And this happens to everybody, and it happens by, I don't know, you tend to pick up their accents. You don't mean to. It's just something that just happens if you like the country. So I says to him, I don't know why I do like that for. I fired straight back in his kind of and I thought he was going to beat me, but he didn't. And that's what I'm saying. Chinese people, I love you. I really do. I love you. Germany too. I met some brothers in Germany. They speak funny. Still brothers, but they speak funny. And that's a culture shock, because when you meet someone of your own kind, they say, "What's happening, brother?" Jesus, you ain't a real brother.
It's like, whoa, I'm sorry, I didn't do it. Thumbs up.
Yeah. And Holland again, they speak funny too in Holland, but they speak English. But as long as you're doing the comedy, as long as they understand English, because I have a tendency of going to other countries and expecting them to speak English. And because I've become westernized, and when they don't, I get so upset when people don't speak English. You know that I really do. I get so, how come you don't speak English? And then they we can't understand you. I said, Jesus, how come they haven't colonized your country yet? When the heck comes, it's just something that happens. But most places understand English, and most places understand good comedy, and I'm there, and it works.
Absolutely great, brilliant. So Ginger's put in that comedy is a universal language.
Exactly, Ginger.
Yeah, absolutely, Ginger. Right. Alima's put, Maxine English, can you please send me the link to sell some tickets? Thanks. No problem. I will do that a little bit. That's not a problem. I can do that.
Yeah.
Robert's put, Carlos is an awesome dude in my personal experience. Fantastic. Let's tell some more about you, Carlos. We'd like to know. Right, Robert's put, I posted in the comments my old YouTube days. There certainly were comedy bits present and only possible because I have no shame whatsoever.
Who's got no shame? Who? Robert?
Robert, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we've had a few people on here. Yeah, there's just loads and loads of people saying hello. So that's absolutely brilliant. You've had quite a few people come on here and have a bit of a laugh about that. Yeah, it's brilliant. Right, okay, so let's go into your next segment. So how did you get into comedy?
Like I say, it was from school. It definitely from school. And you mentioned it earlier before. I used to write a lot of comedy, write about my events, the days in life. And that's how I really got into comedy, through writing. And I haven't stopped writing. I keep writing. And the more I write, is the more, experiences that I have to tell. And when you have children, you need to write a lot when you've got children, because they do the most strangest, funniest things in life. And it's all, it's all part of my repertoire, as they say, because they didn't go for the experiences I went through. Right now, a child can have a shower by himself and no one needs to worry about the bill apart from the parent. I didn't have that luxury in my day. I shared a bath and there was 5 of us and I was the last child. You ever go in a bath and come out worse than you did in the first place? Yeah, they don't have that. They've never experienced that. That's what I'm saying. Because in the bath, when you've got your older brother, you say, let's play a game called Fountain. And then you look down and he'll pee in your face. And you're like, what? This is what children do in baths, because you don't have control of baths. But the children haven't been through the experiences. But you also learn through watching the children and the things they do. Like you go to your children's school play. Have you got children yourself, Maxine? I don't know.
Yeah, I've got a 12-year-old and a 16-year-old.
You ever been to your child's school play?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know how rubbish it is? But you can't say it's rubbish. You know yourself. I know you can't say it, but like, what the hell is this?
It's amazing every time. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you got to pretend to like the school play. I don't do that. I said, that was rubbish. That was really rubbish. You ever had a child? No, you see, this is what I'm saying. This pampering about winners and losers. You've got to have winners in life, and you've got to have losers. Like I go to my child's class, and I can look at a class, and I can say, some of these children need to practice the words, hi, how can I help you? And others need to practice the word, how, hi, how can I take your order? Do you see what I mean? McDonald's and other workers. They're just different grades of children in school. And like I said, you learn from the children, you learn from your life experience, you learn from your relationships that you have as you get older. And it's just a whole life of comedy. A whole life of comedy for me.
So I'm just reading Robert's answer on that one. Sometimes I do it later in life too, but thanks to my accommodating Chinese girlfriend, I got it out of my system.
She's lovely. I bet she's lovely as an angel.
Robert is so funny. He has got a pretty cool sense of humour. So how difficult is it to actually be a comic?
It's very difficult. Because remember, you always are watching for the PC brigade. Like you could say something now, and in 10 years' time, that comes back on you. And it's quite horrible because it was funny at the time, everybody loved it. And then why in 10 years' time you're going to cut? Look what happened the other day to Kevin Hart. He said something about his child, and they loved it at the time, but now it's affecting him because they compared to it. It's very different to singers. Singers, a singer sings a song, and that song stays with him for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You can still go back to the song, you hear it 3, 4 times. Comedy doesn't have that. If I tell you a joke now, and then I go repeat the joke in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you hear the same joke again, you get bored of the same joke. So comedy always has to be sort of like a rotational thing. You have to keep yourself fresh all the time. But I love that because, as I say, like I like maths, it was challenging. Same thing with comedy. It's very, very challenging. But I loved it.
Fantastic. Well, I've got a question here from Ginger. She's
Ginger.
put, yeah, Ginger's in the house today. I'm doing my first comedy stand-up gig at Comedy Convention. Any advice?
Yeah. How long you're doing is what I need to know, because if you're doing a first stand-up comedy gig, my first stand-up gig was horrible. I didn't eat for 3 months, and me and the toilet were best friends. So I need to know, how if it's your first stand-up, are you good talking in front of people? So you just have to pace yourself and just figure, these are people that want to come and listen to me, and that's how you have to, gauge it. They want to listen to you, so tell them what you've got to say. Yeah? If you look at it at that angle, worrying and not worry about other things, just look at the public. They want to listen to me. This is what I've got to tell them.
So what kind of jokes work best? Is it going to be like, as in like when you talked about people in like relationships or I suppose family goes down quite well? What do you find that gets the biggest laughs? You'll
find that common denominators work well. So the common denominators will be workplace environments, kids, relationships. These are common denominators that everybody has. All right. So everybody's got a different angle on those common denominators, and that's what really works well. All right. I try to do those, but also step off and do something abstract and like I say, and then I bring you back into my world, which then you go, man, that was fun, because I've just taken you into a different world, and I stay away from the common denominators, although I do them. All right. That sounds funny. I do them. Yeah. But yeah.
So for a first timer that's actually going to go out there and stand on stage, whether she's going out for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever she's doing, what would you say her best thing was to start off with?
Talk about who she is. Like she just told us about Ginger. I'm looking at her. I can't see any bits of Ginger on her head. So why do they call her Ginger? Yeah. What is it about Gingers that make you look different? Talk about being Ginger for only a little bit, not too much, because it'll get boring after a while. We don't really want to about Ginger. But talk about yourself, talk about being Ginger, and then just explore what you've got to tell us. Because for you to do it in the first place, it must mean that you've got something to say.
Absolutely.
So we want to hear what you've got to say.
Yeah. Well, I hope that bit of advice there helps you out, Ginger, and you've got it from the man himself.
One day, Ginger.
Sorry, what was that again?
And I hope to meet you one day, Ginger. Where was she?
Ginger, let us know where you are so we can he can pin you down and make sure he comes and sees you. Robert's put golden showers were magical.
Golden what? What did he say? Golden what?
Golden showers were magical.
Golden showers, yeah, check it out. See what I mean?
True, the most memorable moments in my life consisted mostly of unintentional slapstick style events. Did you have quite a lot of those as a youngster?
Me or
you?
Loads. Do you know? I went to a school which was poor, right? And the one thing why we had to go to school is because back in the days it was very hard for our parents to maintain a perfect standard of living because we was underpaid, right? And going to school, we went to school every single day. Not because I liked school, all right? It's because I can get a free meal. That's why we went to school, and it was important for us to go to school. And I'll tell you how important that meal was to us. If we missed it, we weren't guaranteed to get a meal at home. One day, the school was so old that the scaffolding around the school we had workmen and they left the scaffolding around the school. And there was a rope and the kids used to swing on the rope. You know what kids do, they swing on the rope, right? And there was more than like one child who swung on the rope. And the scaffolding fell and it crushed 2 boys, right?
Yeah.
Just before lunch. So it's crushed 2 boys just before lunch. So the headmistress called us all into assembly and says to us, we know that the sequence of events was really sad, and that, for those of you who still want a meal, you can still get your meal. And for those of you who feel that your appetite is gone because of this situation, we'll give you a cup of tea. So
before you go into that, you say you crushed 2 boys. Do you mean as in that they were sent to hospital and they were okay, or sent to hospital and they weren't okay?
They weren't okay.
Oh, right? Okay.
The scaffolding fell on them and they weren't okay. This is just before lunch. So a lot of people are not feeling, they lost their appetite. Mm-hmm. Not me. I didn't lose my appetite because remember the food was valuable to me.
So you, in your head, was like, wow, I'm getting thirds today.
Seconds and thirds, man. You know about.
I knew you was going to say that.
If I had a doggy bag, I would have taken the rest of my family. Everybody would have ate that day. But no, there was a lot of people in the canteen, and you know, it was just such a thing. It was a thing. It's poor. But we had a lot of events like that in school. A lot of events like that in school.
Cool. So you mean you talked about with your father, and obviously your knickers you used to wear.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact is, it's like, where did your comedy side come from? Because he turned around and says to you that, you know, you're the funniest kid that he's got. So, I mean, what did it run in the family, or is it something that was just you're the only person your whole family that's ever done it?
Like I said, I did it to get me out of trouble, and also, I'm the only child in the family that done it. I was born at home. I had an afro. I was born just before going to church, so I stopped my mum going to church. So you might think I'm an evil person. I'm the only left-handed person in the family.
Me too. Well, actually, it's me and my sister, but we're only half sisters.
Yeah, that means, but you know, back in the day, they would have killed us.
Yeah.
Because left-handed and all that. And the comedy, it comes from my father, who is very sarcastic. He doesn't speak much. He's a man of very few words. So when he talks, we have to listen. And sometimes it can only be, hey, that was it. My mum laughed a lot. So I've inherited a combination of the two.
I suppose if all your dad said was, hey, I suppose she had to laugh a lot.
Of course. So I laughed a lot, and my mum definitely enjoyed laughing. And I've taken that humor from them. My mum laughs at everything. I've taken that humor and I've employed it, and I think that's where I've got it from. Both my parents, most definitely, I've got it from my parents. Yeah,
that's a good way to be, because if you've got that kind of, it gives you that kind of extra bond, doesn't it? Because you've got something in common. Yes. But yeah, most people, if they've got something like comedy like you do, it's very much, it comes down in the ages. But if you don't have comedy parents at all, it's very rare that you get someone that actually goes into that kind of thing.
Yeah, mine's difficult, but then again, my whole family is a laugh anyway. But I get it from my parents, definitely, most definitely.
Okay, right. Ginger has put in, have you ever seen the movie Tammy with Melissa McCarthy? That's who people call me all the time.
I haven't seen it. I'll have to look it up.
I haven't either, so I'm going to have to look that up too. Yeah. So we've got a few things to look at today.
Yeah, I'll make a note. Tammy by.
We've got Your Naughty Dancing and Tammy from with Melissa McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy. Yeah, I'll try and look that up. Yeah, that'll be interesting. That'll be really interesting. But she hasn't told us where she's from, though, has she?
No. Come on, Ginger. You're falling behind, love. Yeah. Okay, so as time's getting quite late, shall we go on to some jokey sides?
Go for it.
Come on. This is your time now. This is your time to be on that stage. The spotlight's on you. You're standing there. You've got all these people that are online. They're all listening to what you've got to say. Go for it. You've got 5 minutes.
What do you want me to do?
Well, just, be yourself, show people, sell yourself.
It's not selling myself. It's just that you just done the same thing what I asked you before. What you said before is like, you're a comedian. Tell me a joke.
So it's a joke. Yeah, exactly. But the difference is I gave you the heads up that I was going to ask you this question anyway.
Did I? I didn't know.
See, you weren't listening to me.
No, because my comedy comes from, like I say, life experiences, all right? Yeah. It comes from events that happen in my life, all right? That's my comedy is all based on events that happens in my life. So
have you got a tour coming up then?
Yeah, we've got a tour coming up.
Okay, so have you got a couple of jokes from your tour, perhaps?
I wouldn't give you any jokes for the tour because that's going to be fresh.
Okay, right? Past tour then. Let's do a past tour.
My past tour, we had loads of comedy clash because I'm St. Lucian. And what happens is, with being St. Lucian, is we speak the truth, all right? And we don't mind how it comes out. We just speak it how it is. What I like, when you travel to a country, you go to the resort areas of certain countries, and you think, the country, and you come back. Some people come back telling me about St. Lucia, and they're telling me things that I've never heard about St. Lucia before, because they think they know the whole country. And I know that people think the truth, and people come back and tell me, the people are polite and thing. And I know, well, St. Lucian men, they're randy. They're very, very randy men. And they're also quite straightforward. We will tell you exactly how you feel. Like if you go to a restaurant and you order food, and they see that you're overweight, they will tell you straight, you don't really want to order that food, darling. You want salad. And, you'll be looking at them and thinking, what do you mean salad? Yes, darling, you look salad. And they'll show you yourself and say, look in the mirror, look how big you is. Look in the mirror, look, you need 2 mirrors for your backside because you're big. Look. And because that's how solutions are. We tell the truth. And then at the end of that, we will then comfort you and say, but I wouldn't mind take your number, I wouldn't mind take your number, you look all right. It's the charm.
Is it a way of them doing a chat up line?
Say that again?
Is it a way of them doing a chat up line?
It's their chat up line, but it's the truth. If we tell you that you're too big, we'll tell you, but you're too big, man. You need to lose some weight.
Yeah, it's like, hey, woman, you're a hippo. I like it. Here's my number.
But they would also add a comfort line, like, if you lose weight, me and you can work. But at the moment, we can't work because you're too big. You understand? That's how solution is. It's very similar in all the Caribbean islands, like that. We tell you exactly how it is. And if you like you, we'll tell you exactly what we want from you. And that's it. But we're doing a tour. And the actual tour is based around, what do we call it? It's based around islands. It's a clash of islands. So you got all St. Lucia's in there, there's Jamaican in there, and we all got to go against each other in this tour. And the tour goes from Manchester to Birmingham to Cardiff to London. So this tour coming up is quite big, and it starts in March, I believe, March the 3rd. So that's got to be something, and that's where you should come and listen to me, because it's not just like sitting here and just saying a couple of jokes. I'm actually going to go in and tell you real stories and real events. And you will laugh. Trust me, you will laugh. Yeah.
Down on the bottom left-hand corner, you've got a little box down there. It's a little orange box that you can type in. If you message me, actually on there, where it's going to be and the dates that you're going to be there.
Oh, will do. Yeah, of course.
Before we finish, obviously, I could have a bit of a talk with the audience while you're doing that, and then what I'll do is I'll put it on the comments so people can then obviously come and see you on that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all good. So that's not really. If you want to do that now, I can talk to the audience. It's absolutely fine.
Talk to them. I'll try and put something in there if I can get this.
Yeah. Well, you got it though. It's all right then. Yeah, you got it there. Yeah, cool. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we've got Peter Francis here. He's absolutely amazing guy. He's very, very funny, and he's been a comedian for a long, long time. He's been all over the world, whether it's been in the US. He's now in the UK as well. He's also been in Germany, Holland. He's been all over the place. And the thing is not only is he very, very funny, he also does fitness as well. So he can get your muscles sorted out for you, and at the same time make you laugh. So he can call you a hippo and then laugh at you after.
Exactly.
So I mean, something that Alima asked me to do a little bit earlier is if you decide that you want to come to the Yes You Can Inspired to Achieve event, which you've got on the 2nd and 3rd of February, this here is the website. I'm going to put that in the comments for you now, so you've got that. Hang on, I'm just going down to the comments box. I'll take that from you in a second there, Peter. Right, so I've put it in the comments box in case you actually want to have a look at the website with Yes You Can Inspired to Achieve. And we've also got our event, which a lot of you know already. We've got our event going on, as I said, which is the 2nd and 3rd of February. If you want to know more about the speakers, we've got over 45 speakers coming from all across the world, coming to see us. And they want to give you as much content as they possibly can, whether, it's to do with branding, whether it's writing a book, whether it's moving forward in your advertising, it could be your social media, anything that you can think of, even talking about their adversities, what they've gone through and how they overcome it. I'll be on stage that day as well, so you'll have me to talk to. I'll be standing on stage talking about my adversity, what I've been through, and also mindset and confidence. So that will be what I'll be there for. So this is the just at the bottom of the screen there, as you can see, that's the Yes You Can Inspired to Achieve .London. If you do want tickets, you're more than welcome to click on there. I'll give that to you now, so you've got that. If you click onto there, that will go straight through to Eventbrite, and basically with that you'll have that there, and that's just for you, Alima, as well. Elise, then you've got that, and you can literally just go in there, buy your ticket straight away. Right, let's go into. So you'll be at London Hackney Empire, 6th of April, yeah.
6th of April, yeah, that's the one I know off my head. And 31st we're in Birmingham. But if they need to meet, if they join me on I am Peter Francis on Instagram, I think all the information will be on that. Definitely.
Okay, so I'll put that there. And I'll also put 31st of March in Birmingham, so you've got that too. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, you've got that on there as well. So we're going to literally a couple of minutes left, and then we're going to have to let Peter go because he's a busy man.
Ooh.
So we'll go back to your joke section, shall we? So you was talking about, now we've put that in there so people can at least get a hold of you. Have you got a website or something, Peter, so people can actually...
Yeah, go on to my... I'm on Instagram at the moment, just started at Instagram. Obviously, Facebook. The Facebook is Peter Francis. But I will be starting a fan page because I've got 2 Facebooks and they're both full. So I have to start.
So you just open a new page up and just open your business page or fan page. You can get as many as you want then.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So at the moment, I'm just starting off with this Instagram. So I am Peter Francis on Instagram. You can find me on there. That'd be great. Come and chat with me on there and we'll have some fun. And other than that, the website will be coming soon and everything will be tickety-boo. So
absolutely. We've also got some more on it. What we got on here? I know Ginger was saying something. She was being funny.
What's Ginger saying now? What's Ginger saying?
Right. So Ginger's put very sarcastic point of view. I'm in the witness protection program. Laugh out loud. Inspired to achieve global TV. He said, surely some horrid puns are on tap.
So horrid what? Sorry.
Some horrid puns are on tap.
Yeah,
so you must have some puns there that you can actually give us.
Really?
Like those corduroy pillars, make sure you make headlines. I can't tell you where I live. You might stalk if I be a stalker.
Steady, you're not that lucky.
Richard.
What's Richard saying? I like Richard. What's he saying?
What is the best thing about Birmingham? The road out of Birmingham.
Yeah, that's an old joke, Richard. That's an old joke.
Yeah, old joke. Yeah, exactly. Also, Natalie's put, are you on YouTube?
I am. I will be on YouTube under Peter Francis. I'm on YouTube. Yeah, you can catch me on YouTube.
Are you on there now?
Well, yeah, of course you can. You can see me on YouTube.
Yeah, okay, that's fantastic. Those are the bits that I put in. Yeah, Richard Stoneman said he's speaking on stage on the 2nd and 3rd as well. He's the autistic champion.
Have I met you, Richard? I'm sure I met you. I'm sure I met Richard.
You may have done. Are you going to come to the 2nd and 3rd?
I was with an autistic comic the other day, and he was very funny. He was quite funny. I liked it. But I can't remember what his name was. But Richard looked familiar. Anyway.
Yeah. Alima's put, thank you, Maxine, obviously, for putting that out there. That's absolutely fine. That's not a problem. So I've put on there, that's where you're going to be. I put that up there just now. And also you're going to be 31st of March in Birmingham. Natalie's happily with that one. Those 2 Cornish pasties were lovely. Yeah, so that was
the same Richard Fay. I'm sure it's the same Richard anyway, but go on. Yeah.
So people looking for some puns and stuff like that. So from your last tour, let's have a look at from your last tour. So I know obviously it's a bit more on the spot, and I know that people ask you these things all the time. However, when I got Marissa in, and she's a soprano, I got her to sing opera.
Okay.
When I got somebody else in who was a model and an actress, I got her to act. It's part of the job.
Oh, I hear you, man. Well, we can give away this particular event of a life, because I say to people I'm getting older, right? And people always say to me life begins at 40, and life don't begin at 40. Diseases begin at 40, right? And I say to men, when you're getting old. Most men will know when you're getting old. And when you walk into a shop and you see a pair of corduroy trousers and you think to yourself, oh, they look all right, they look all right. Yeah. That's when you know you're getting old, right? When you sit down on the toilet, right, and certain parts of your anatomy hang about that inch away from the water. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, when you're getting old.
I don't think everybody will know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. Women too, right? Because women, you refuse.
Well, mine certainly wouldn't hang that far from the water. That'd be pretty far.
Is that you don't take off your bra and they just drop. They look like a pair of slippers. And instead of your man having fun with you from up here, he now has to go, hey, babes, how are you feeling down there? But what I'm trying to say is that's when you're getting old. And women do this hoarding thing, innit, where they often have their clothes and they store their clothes from when they were 18, 19, in their 20s. And they always say this stupidest to a man, one day I'm going to fit into those. And you never need to know what the man's thinking, because I could tell you exactly what he's thinking. He's thinking, yeah, really, you're gonna be too. I won't say the words, but that's a myth. You're never gonna get into them, darling, unless you do something drastic with your weight. How I wanted to say I can't, because of the time. But these are the things what you have experienced getting old. You're getting very, very old when life hits you like this, man. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna leave you lot with, because there's much, much more to that joke. There's even a joke where I was old and, well, I had an enema. Do you know what enema is, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, because most women do, but men, they don't. I had an enema. I was constipated, right, for 5 days, Maxine, 5 days. But I still had an appetite, all right? So I was eating and eating, and my stomach was getting bigger and bigger, all right? And so I had to go to the hospital. And I went to the hospital. I was in so much pain, because if you can't go to the toilet, do you know how much pain it is? And I had to go to the hospital. And the doctor, he examined me, and he said to me, you know what, sir? And I said, what? He said, you're full of shit. And I said to him, really, this ain't no time for no jokes. I'm in some serious pain, all right? And he said, okay, what we got to do, right? We got to give you an enema, which looks like a plastic. You know what enema looks like, isn't it? It looks like a plastic. And they got to deposit it up your. Okay, all right. So I says to him, because I didn't want no one to know what was happening to me, all right, because I was in so much pain. And they gave me morphine. If you've ever had morphine, it takes you away. You've had morphine?
Makes me sleep.
Are you a drug addict? Right? Anyway, morphine.
Not this week.
It makes you high, and you actually forget where you are at times, right? And so he gave me some morphine, and he says to me, okay, right, we're going to put this up your, all right? And I says to him, listen, if you tell anyone what you're doing to me, I'm going to knock your head off, all right? That's what I wanted to say to him. But because I was on morphine, that didn't come out. What came out instead was, ain't you going to play no music? Get me in the mood. He's just going to turn me around. Just like that. And he said to me, turn around. I say, okay.
You're not very low noob with that.
I put this joke up on it. He go, okay. And I turn around, right, and he put it inside me. And all I can think about is, please, God, please don't make my get hard. Because that would mean that I enjoyed it. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the experiences of my life that I take to stage with me. And I can give you much more of those experiences, but I want you to come to see me live, and I tell you much more about what happens in my life. And there's a lot of funny things that happen in my life. Lots.
That's good. We like funny things. That's all good.
Yeah, there you go.
So since I interviewed you, do I get free tickets so I can sit at front row, and then you can just take the complete mick out of me?
Yeah. All you need to do, Maxine, is you got my number. You text me when you want to come down and see a show, and you come see me. That's all you need to do. All right. What area are you from? I'm in Essex. Maxine, I'll talk to you. Just down the road. You are indeed. Yeah. Well, do you know what? This is coming to our time, Peter, because we've actually been on here for an hour. Have we really? You have. Oh, I'm just getting warmed up. Yeah, I'm losing half your face again, though. Just move around a bit. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, this is the amazing Peter Francis, Special P. He's funny, he likes a good joke. He calls women hippos. I do not call you a hippo. In fact, I haven't even seen your whole body to call you a hippo. I might call you something else, but not a hippo. That's all right, I can handle it. Yeah. I've got hippo shoulders. So it's very much that, if you want to go and see Peter, we've put in the comments, we've put where he's going to be, when he's going to be. If you do want to know anything more, you're more than welcome to message me, and I'm quite happy to pass it on. If you do want to message Peter, then just go on to his Facebook page, his Instagram. Also, have a look at him on YouTube. Have a listen to what he does and how he does it, because not only has he been doing this for a long, long time, the fact is that he's wrote a lot of stuff for other comedians as well. He's gone all around the world. He's going to be touring everywhere. This man here is going to explode, and at the end of the day, it's getting him out there and getting us out there at the same time. We want him to get out there and make sure that he goes and changes people's lives, because you know what? Days like today, not everybody smiles. There's so many things wrong with the world, and people like Peter make it so much better, and it's all good. And Ginger, I'm glad that you're getting involved as well. That's absolutely brilliant. She's thoroughly enjoyed this, guys.
Thanks. I wish I could meet you at the event. I'll have to watch the live, catch it up on the live stream. No, do you know what, Ginger? It's absolutely amazing. And you know, it'd be great to see any one of you there. You know, it's very much that get everybody involved. That's what it's all about. Peter, is there any last words that you'd like to say?
I'd like to thank everyone who's listening to me. I'd like them to actually come and see me live. I know one day I'll be in their town, whether it be in UK or abroad. Thank you very much, Maxine, for interviewing me. Yeah, all the best for 2019. And for those of you who haven't seen me yet, Happy New Year. I don't know when I stopped saying Happy New Year, but you know what? I haven't seen you, so Happy New Year to all of you. Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. So, you know, guys, at the end of the day, I try and bring different celebrities to you every Sunday at 8 o'clock. This is our time with Peter Francis. You've been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Peter. Yeah. And special P's in the house. Take care, guys. Thanks very much for listening. And if you're replaying, put #replay just so we know that you're on there. And I'll speak to you all on Tuesday. Take care, guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later.